So let's talk how to improve body language in public speaking. Now imagine you go on stage and you don't have to say anything, but the whole audience is with you. How is that possible? We're going to talk about some of the people I've seen do this, as well as how you can do it too, just with your body. Recently I saw the masterful body language of a couple of comedians that completely blew me away. And you can learn so much from a comedian if you're a public speaker. Here's the thing, I saw a guy named Rodney Norman. You maybe don't know him by name, but I bet you've seen him on Instagram or TikTok because he's very famous there. He's got wild hair. He's got a huge white beard and he wears Grateful Dead shirts. Like, he is so funny. All he needs to do is walk on stage and stand there and look at the audience. I swear it was the funniest thing. I went and saw him in person because he and I have been friends for over 2 decades, but I hadn't seen him in this state. Years ago I saw him with short hair, no beard, and he was a very funny comedian. But now he's gone viral for the way he uses his body language. He actually came to stage after they introduced him and he just walked up there, stood next to the mic and just went, and the crowd lost it. And I thought, that's the mastery of really great body language, and knowing that you have the confidence to communicate through your body without saying any words at all. Another one of my favorites. His name is Ryan Hamilton. Ryan Hamilton is a great comedian. You can find his Netflix special, Happy Face. All you need to hear is the language of the title of his Netflix special, Happy Face. He seriously comes on stage and just goes, and the crowd loses it. He has a permanent happy face and he makes fun of it for the first 5 or 10 minutes. It's brilliant, but that's the thing that I'm talking about. You can command an audience just through your body, just by doing a face, doing something a little bit different than the rest of the world. Most people focus only on the words when you can focus on the body language. It's not just comedians that do this well. A president of the United States named Barack Obama did this so well. He would be introduced to the stage and he'd just he was just great at it. I find it fascinating. He knew that he could communicate so much just by looking around and waving and being confident, using his body to speak for itself. So in this video, you're going to learn some of the ways and the reasons as to why body language is so important and how you can effectively communicate that much better in every presentation as a speaker. So let's talk about first understanding the power of body language. I want you to think about yourself right now, how you're sitting as we're talking to each other. You're listening to me, but I want you to think for yourself about how you're watching me. Maybe you're slouched over, maybe you're watching on your phone, maybe you're just at work on your computer, but I want you to think about your body posture, your body language. If I was able to see you, would you be looking differently? You don't need to work on that right now, but I want you to think about it for your next Zoom call, your next meeting with somebody, because the body language says so much. Have you ever noticed that somebody like this on a Zoom call are just like, I think that person's bored. You can just tell by them being like, even just the position of somebody's head can be like, oh man, he's falling asleep. Even the position of the eyes matters a lot. And so you can practice body language as a public speaker, even when you're on a Zoom call or recording a podcast or doing a live stream. All of those things make a difference, whether you're standing or sitting. I mean, I can sit here and show you that I'm absolutely 100% present and engaged with you, but I could change that look if I was like this and being like, so today we're going to talk about body language. I mean, that looks ridiculous, right? And so see how now I'm engaged with you. I'm sitting upright. I'm a little more energetic and excited. You can practice this as a public speaker on a Zoom call, on any type of meeting, and in any kind of conversation with others. Have you ever heard of the 7-38-55 rule? I'm actually going to read the rule to you. 7-38-55 rule is this. It's a concept concerning the communication of emotions. The rule states, you ready? 7% of meaning is communicated through spoken words. Only 7% through the words. What? 38% through the tone of voice. 38%. And 55% through body language. What? That's pretty cool. So what does that tell you? Most people as public speakers work only on the words. That's 7%. That's it. The words that you communicate, yes, they're important, but whoa, the tone of voice, 38%? Okay, yeah, maybe I should work on my tone. Maybe I should practice. Maybe I should record myself and listen back. But we're talking body language for public speaking on this video, 55%. Oh my goodness. If you want to communicate well, change the way you move and stand and use your body. Your body's an instrument. Your body says and screams more of what you believe and what you truly know than the words and the tone of your voice. So some key elements of body language include, of course, your eyes, your hands, the gestures you do, the way that you walk, your posture, all of those things. In fact, I've made a living for years using my face, and maybe you've seen me do this before, but I found out when I was little that I could do some weird things with my face. I don't even have to talk. And I bet you're sitting there doing some weird things with your face too. Body language has a lot to do with the communication, even if it's showing some weird things with our face. What I just showed you is really weird, but I've made millions of dollars doing that. Isn't that crazy? Because it makes people laugh, it makes them think, oh, that guy's crazy. And at the same time, it really says a lot. Here's some of my favorite examples of friends of mine that are very famous public speakers that have done so well in the corporate market, and they're famous in that world, and maybe you have yet to hear of them, and so I'm excited to introduce them to you. They use their body in such a wonderful way. I want you to check out their websites if you'll go there after this video. First of all, my buddy, Tim Gard. Tim Gard is a Hall of Fame speaker, and he is so funny. If you go to his website, you can see that he just stands like this, and it's funny. You don't even need context. You can just tell that he uses his body, and he's like a over-the-top comedy usage of his body. It's so brilliant. Check out timgard.com. Next, go to jesspettit.com. Jess Pettit uses her body in such a unique way because, well, she has a different look. And I'm so impressed with her ability to own that, and equally, she makes everybody laugh with her. And she does all these things. These are people that use comedy in their public speaking, and they do it so effectively. But she also utilizes her look to teach diversity and acceptance and leaving room for edits. She is such a fascinating case in terms of somebody who uses her body in order to get the message across, and she does it so effectively. I love Jess Pettit. Go check her out. And then there's Kelly Swanson. She's essentially the coach for the best storytelling speakers out there. If you go to motivationalspeakerkellyswanson.com, you'll find out that she is so great at using her body. She can change into a character, she can morph her body into different positions, and it's pretty darn awesome to watch what she can do. Once she adds her voice to it, she changes her voice depending on the character, and it is so awesome. She is a genius at what she does. I want you to just see some of these great speakers that I've just referenced because maybe you haven't heard of them, and they are some of the best in the world at what they do. Just because somebody's not a household name celebrity doesn't mean we can't learn from them, and I hope that if you're interested in some coaching for your storytelling, you'll reach out to Kelly Swanson. And then there's my friend Chad Hymas. Chad Hymas is a Hall of Fame speaker. He's one of the most successful speakers in the world, named top 10 speakers and inspirations in the world. He's an amazing guy. He's a quadriplegic and he's in a wheelchair, but he does have use of his arms and his hands to be able to wheel himself around. What's interesting about Chad to me is that when he's on stage, even though he's in a wheelchair, he'll move his body back and forth, and he's actually moving on purpose, because if he stays in one position too long, it could be bad for him. But he uses his body to share an example in a story, and then he shifts over here and he does something different with it. He's communicating so much through his body that all of his words land. He is utilizing the principle that we talked about earlier of the percentages. 55% is body language. Go watch chadhymas.com to see how somebody in a wheelchair uses his body as a way to completely blow away an audience through body language and presentation. Let's talk about gestures and expressions. When I think about the very first time I went to a National Speakers Association meeting, and these are meetings where you learn about how to speak and make a business out of speaking. The first speaker I saw stood up and went like this and began the speech and stood there like that the whole time. I remember watching like, this is what they're teaching here. It wasn't what they were teaching. It was just what the speaker thought they should do. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I should do that pose. That doesn't work for me. There are gestures and expressions you'll come up with for yourself. I hope that as you watch yourself on camera, and that's really the important part here, you can actually record yourself speaking and then turn the sound off. Watch yourself. See what you say. See if you express yourself in a way that would be awkward to the audience to see. I remember a guy named Wayne Dyer. Dr. Wayne Dyer is one of the great speakers of all time. But he did this thing with his hands, where he would like spin his hands way too much. And it got to the point where it was distracting even from the very message that he was giving. It made sense why he was doing this, because he was talking about transformation and meditation and energy and all these things, but it got to be too much. I mean, this became like a signature move that you don't want to be known for. And so I want you to think for yourself about the way that you're using your body, your hands, your gestures, your expressions, because it all says a lot. Eye contact and connection, that's a very important one. When you're talking on stage, make sure that you're looking at people in the audience, not just over everybody. Remember that eye contact is a great way for connection through body language. And of course, there's movement and dynamism. I want you to think about how you're moving on stage using your body. Dancers do this so well. Dancers communicate without ever saying a thing, but they're saying a whole lot because their body says it. Have you ever watched a speaker who just stood there versus a speaker who paces the stage back and forth too much? Consider a place in between. Perhaps stand when you need to stand in power pose, and then be dynamic and go walk over here and then talk to these people, and then move over here and talk to these people. Never let your body be too far over this way or too far over this way. Always stay open with the audience so you can look at everybody in every way wherever you stand. Watch some dancers. Dancers do this so well. They utilize their body in a way that's beautiful. Same with actors on a stage. Go watch somebody in a play. A motivational and public speaker can learn so much from other actors, from other speakers, from performers, from entertainers, dancers, magicians, you name it. Your body can say so much more than you've ever realized. I hope you go check out some of those speakers I've referenced here today. And here's what I would love for you to do as well. If you'll please subscribe to this channel, I do talk more about not just body language, but other ways in which you can use the tone of your voice, as well as share your great gifts with the world. I hope that you'll subscribe here today. Thanks so much for joining me.